Hello everyone and welcome back. We are into the finals of this EGL League of Legends Championship Summoners Cup number 20. It's the first Summoners Cup we have had of the new year. I am Sona and I am casting with Eltazar. He's one of my good friends, my colour caster for the day. And we're going to be watching NumerOuno versus Bananas and Tuxedos. This is the fighter we saw last time, Eltazar. How do you think it's going to go?
I am very interested to see what happens because, of course, we did see a slightly unusual tactic employed by Wolfisher in one of their earlier matches, and it's actually correlating directly to the first ban made. Gragas was played in the jungle by Wolfisher to actually great success in one of their earlier games. It comboed so well when one of his teammates, I believe it was Aixi, was playing Yasuo. The combination of Explosive Cask and Final Breath was just lethal. We do see Sejuani banned out, was played by Wannabe in the last game, very, very effective. Then, one of the safety bans, of course, Kassadin, that AP Assassin menace, just thrown out the window. Always worthwhile to get rid of him, to be fair. Yeah. It does seem to be more target bans coming out, however, from the members of Bananas and Tuxedos, because we see the Shyvana going, Tenchi was playing that in the last game. So, it does look like they are more focusing on getting rid of champions from the last game, rather than getting rid of a common pool of champions.
Shyvana's just one of those really strong champions at the moment. Played sort of in the top lane most of the time. You see a couple of jungle Shyvanas, but she's not really that strong. But when the new masteries came out, people realised how strong these sort of top lane uber tanks are. The Mundos, the Shyvanas, and we see a Mundo ban coming out as well. It's good to ban out the Assassin and the Sejuani from that last game as well. That combination with Lissandra was really, really strong.
Definitely it was. A couple of seconds left for the last ban for Bananas and Tuxedos, and it is the Orianna, which wasn't actually played by NumerOuno. It was actually played by their opponents, them picks though. But it's maybe more of a safety ban for the sake of that shockwave is incredibly potent in almost every situation.
Yeah, especially in organised teams. Like Orianna in solo queue perhaps isn't as strong as some of the other mid laners at the moment, the ones who can win a game by themselves, so to speak. But in solo queue, in ranked fives, Orianna can be exceptionally strong, especially if you can CC chain along with that shockwave, because it pulls everyone closer together. It means that if you have a Sona, you can also cross that, and Mistress Fortune ult as well. I mean, obviously those are two champs that aren't that commonly played, but I was just picking names out of the hat, so darn it, I'm going to use Sona and Mistress Fortune.
Yep, Vi is the first pick up by Tenchi. That's most likely going to go on to Wannabe in the jungle.
Yeah, I mean, Vi jungle was really strong. Like, she's probably one of the top 3 or 4 junglers at the moment. With her Assault and Battery, that ultimate's very, very easily able to get to the backline, and that's something we see junglers needing to do these days. If you can get onto those AD carries as mid laners as well and be able to melt them down and lock them out of a fight, it allows the rest of your team to win the team fight because the opponents have lost one of their main damage sources. And we see Thresh being picked up again here, and Kondi Kuma has picked up that Lucian for his team. What do you think about that?
The Thresh Lucian combo is it's a good all-round bot lane combo because the ability that Thresh has to peel for his carry is very, very good. Lucian's escape is, of course, pretty strong with the Relentless Pursuit being able to cleanse all slows off him. That's not really going to save him when he's against a Vi, but I think the sentiment is quite nice.
That it is, but League of Legends, of course, doesn't work on sentimentality. We are here to see which of these sets of champions can pummel the others into the ground, and at the moment, Vi Renekton is really, really pummel-orific.
Yeah, out comes the Vayne as well, that late game monster of an AD carry. And it's basically going to be the job of Kex and Four Leaf Clover to just beat down that lane early on. They need to, otherwise Vayne will become a monster. It's going to be very, very hard for them to deal with.
That it is. I mean, Vayne, late game, one of the strongest AD carries in the game, probably alongside Sivir and Tristana, a couple of the only real major hyper carries, and I include Sivir in that list because of her ultimate. Her ultimate allows her team to get better and better throughout the game. When you get to team fighting stage, the On the Hunt, getting everyone at that extra movement speed is basically another talisman of Ascension for your team, along with your attack speed buff as well, really helps you out. Lucian, perhaps not a hyper carry in the same way that the rest of those champions are.
Definitely not, but his mobility combined with the high damage that you get from Piercing Light, Ardent Blaze, and of course the culling, affectionately referred to by some of the players I know as the lawnmower, but the sentiment is definitely right, and his damage is still very high throughout the course of the game. Of course, he doesn't have Vayne level damage in the late game, but he has far more damage in the early stages. The early and mid game specifically, is when Lucian is really, really strong. And if you can pick up a good amount of kills on that Lucian, then things can snowball very quickly against your team.
That it can. We do see Nasus being picked up here. Going to be played
Battle of the Brothers.
Yeah, Battle of the Brothers, going to be played by Kuma in the top lane, and Nasus, one of those other champions that with these changes to runes and masteries has got, well, just to masteries actually, runes weren't changed, has got him really strong. Like his Siphoning Strike, you can get it stacked up to about 300 odd stacks by 20 minutes, and you don't really lose anything by picking Nasus. His early game, yes, isn't as strong as perhaps Renekton's or Shyvana's or something like that, but he's still got a huge amount of damage, and the lifesteal he gets off his Soul Eater passive just sustains him up in that top lane, meaning it's very difficult to take him out early game.
Yeah. Definitely true. Tenchi, I'd actually say the Vi pick right there is very, very good against a Nasus, because despite Wither, you've got two sources of gap close. You've got the Vault Breaker, which is of course more of a skill shot ability, but fairly easy to land, and then on top of that, you've got the Assault and Battery, just targeted, I am going to hit you in the face and try and stop me.
Well, you obviously can't stop Assault and Battery, so I keep trying to call it Assault and Pepper, but I've yet to work out a scenario in which that is funny. At some point, I'm sure I will. Yeah, I'm not sure. We see J-Dork. I actually asked him how to pronounce his name, because apparently, like, everyone's pronouncing him Gaydork, but it's actually Geodork. So
I called him Gyarados last time, so
Gyarados. Yeah, I guess that works. Gyarados picking up that Ziggs, one of the best mid laners in my opinion at the moment. Beautiful wave clear, and he can harass very easily as well, especially with that passive, giving him extra damage on his auto attacks every 12 seconds. Scales off his AP, so the later in the game it gets, the more it is like a Lichbane proc. Can take down towers, can take down enemies' health bars, chucking those bombs all over the place. He is going to be a menace to deal with in the mid lane.
Yep, that Yordle is on a very, very short fuse, and the only Yordle in the game, thank goodness for that.
Oh, we never know, maybe Thresh has some Yordle souls collected up already.
Oh, he will. He will. I mean, the amount of Teemo deaths they have, it's almost inevitable that Thresh picked up at least some of those.
It's true. Got to have those Yordle souls. An interesting thing about the summoner spells here is sort of support in Season 4, in what we're actually not meant to call Season 4, we're meant to call the 2014 League of Legends season, have become just as much damage dealers and just as important late game as the AD carries and the mid laners and the top laners and the junglers. So we see a lot more of them taking ignites, especially when you want to try and get some early kills in the bot lane. It was sort of something popularised by Edward mid-Season 3, and it's risen back to favour right now. And we've got Fairlife who's taken Exhaust. Against 4-Leaf Clover who's taken Ignite. Why do you think that is, Altazar?
Well, the Exhaust taken on a Soraka because it's simply a case of protecting the carry and mitigating damage against your carry. So the entire purpose of the bottom lane for the NumerOuno team is just to let Vayne farm up, to keep her surviving, and then when it reaches that late game stage, for her to be an absolute monster. But the great thing that's been done by Bernards and Tuxedos is that Kyandi Kuma has picked that Nasus. So when Vayne's getting exceptionally strong in the late game, so's Nasus. And if Nasus gets into a position where he can wither onto a Vayne, then the Vayne's in a lot of trouble, especially since Nasus can basically wade through an enemy team and say, I care not.
That is true. I mean, Nasus, you have a few different builds you can go on Nasus, especially since you can go sort of Spirit Visage, you can go for that Sunfire cape. But I like to see people going for that Frozen Fist, getting the Iceborne Gauntlet out, doing a lot of extra damage and getting another slow on top of your sort of always off cooldown Wither. Sorry, I can't pronounce THs at all, Altazar.
Oh dear. I keep getting my name wrong.
It's Altazar, isn't it?
Well, it's Althuzar, but
Oh, is it Althuzar?
Since apparently you can't pronounce THs, that's fine. Yes, it's Althuzar.
Althuzar.
Yes. If you add some kind of vampiric tinge, I sound like some kind of Dracula era lord. I'm Grand Lord Althuzar.
Althuzar. Yeah, I guess that works.
He was a Death Knight back in the early stages of the very late stages of Wrath of the Lich King. It just happened to become all of my names on the internet.
Well, we are into
Warcraft.
the last 20 seconds of the spectator delay, so you won't have to listen to us talking about where Althuzar's name came from very much longer. This is the EGL Summoners Cup number 20 finals. It's between NumerOuno and Bananas in Tuxedos. This is, of course, a best of 3. So this first game is just about momentum. It's about getting your foot in the door for that 3,200 RP each, and the Triumphant Rise skin as well. Just going to get into this loading screen. We'll be with the game in just a second. Hopefully, it will be an exciting one, Althuzar. My food has just arrived, so I've got to cast 2 more league games before I'm able to eat my Indian curry, but I am sure they will be exciting enough to sustain me through.
Ah, yes. Definitely. You won't have a voice by the end of these games. I am expecting them to be intense. Considering the plays that have come out from both sides throughout the course of this tournament, this is looking to be an absolute wonderful thing.
It is, and we see... Just getting into this game, the loading screen is up. Some nice skins coming out. I mean, Lucian's letting the team down a little bit without a skin, as is Vi, but you have to let these players get away with it. They haven't won the 3,200 RP yet, so they're not able to buy themselves the skins. And I mean, as we come into this game, do you think there's going to be any really early game action?
The potential for early game is there, I would say, on the side of Bananas and Tuxedos, because it's always there when a Thresh is available. But considering in the preseason the changes that happened, getting a first blood early because of a Thresh hook landing and getting that CC down for an early kill isn't as worth it as it would need to be. So it's more likely than not just going to be a fairly standard start. Get the blue buff, get the red buff, get gone, and start having an effect across the map. And with a Kha'Zix and a Vi, then it's definitely going to be more about the ganks and the farm.
That it is. I mean, Kha'Zix struggles with sort of the early-ish game because he's not as tanky as some of the other junglers. Yes, he's got a lot of damage, and if he can get his enemy isolated, he is able to take them down quite quickly. We do actually see sort of symmetrically contrasting invades coming out here. The NumerOuno team ever so slightly quicker, already in this top bush, and we see the Bananas and Tuxedos team coming down into this tri-bush, not going to spot anyone out, and neither team's actually warded their own red buff, so no one knows at all where anyone is at the moment.
Seconds until minions spawn.
Yeah, we will see what happens. I am only just back into the game myself. My hardware is a little bit dated, is to say the least.
Well, I'm just having to turn our sound down a little bit so that we can make sure we hear your lovely voice throughout it all. Wouldn't want it being too loud. Warding totems across the board here. Sometimes you see that sweeping lens early game, but have decided to not go for that one this time. And Horrorjox Fairlife coming into the bottom lane. They're going to keep themselves safe by going this long route round. It's just better safe than sorry right here.
Yeah, 4 members of Bananas in Tuxedos are there. Oh, and Candy Kuma does spot out Tenchi and Wannabe there at their red buff. But...
Oh, Axie and J-Dork, sorry, I almost called him Gaydork there. Going to get him caught out a little bit. He's taking that Lucent Singularity first, so not going to be able to melt him down. He's coming back round, and they're going to keep fighting this one up. J-Dork's getting taken very low. He might even get ignited here, but... not going to happen because there is no ignite on Axie, so that would be an interesting... Oh, flashing in! Actually going to pop the ignite down any second now. No, he's got barrier as well. Is it going to be enough? Axie trying to move away. Oh, barrier's right at the last moment. Gets missed by that bomb as well, but that is the barrier down there for Axie on this Lux.
Yeah, a hell of a lot of early aggression coming out from these junglers. The fact is that Wannabe, it was sat off to that side. He could have gone in on Axie. Of course, did still have his flash up, but having both summoners down so early in the game could have been devastating.
That it could, and it's very difficult as well when you're playing against a mid laner who's got a relatively high amount of mobility. And Ziggs can use that satchel charge, can jump himself around as well, so it's difficult for them to be able to escape, especially if you burnt your flash. Yes, Lux does have that prismatic barrier, but it's not going to be able to get you away from a Vi and a Ziggs gank.
Yeah, bottom lane going as expected. Fully Flavor and Kex pushing back their opposing lane all the way back towards the tower. Projects standing still. I'm hoping that's not a disconnect.
I hope it's not as well. Maybe just saying something. No Thresh in that bush. Doesn't really want to get caught out here. No, he's moved forward again. Fairlife actually getting caught out quite low. There's the Ignite. He flashes away. Is he going to be able to get away from this one? Yes, he is. Ignite's not going to do quite enough damage there. Surviving with about 10 HP. And Kha'Zix is coming into this mid lane. Here comes Wolfish. Ziggs, remember, doesn't have flash. If he gets caught out, it's not going to be good for him at all. Pounce that barrier. There's the mindful. He gets caught. Is it going to be enough? It is. Wolfishy, you picks up that kill. But here comes Vi. Wannabe jumps in. Flash away there by Wolfishy. You. X might go very low. The red buff is blocking. There's the Vault Breaker, prismatic barrier, flash, and it comes back and it gets them both. Keeps them safe. Porojokes is getting taken very low, down to about 100 HP, but they're not able to take that tower up anymore, so he's going to be able to stay alive.
Yeah, but that's going to force him to back out as well very early on in the game, and that's a very significant advantage being put out by Kex and Four-Leaf Clover, asserting their dominance over this bottom lane at this early stage in the game.
That they are, and that early kill for Kha'Zix means he's gone back, got that Spirit, so he's got a longsword as well. Reloading into the AD jungle item. Spirit of the Elder Lizard, going to keep himself nice and full of damage for when the teamfight come later on. We actually see Vi's done really well, considering that she didn't get that kill. She's got 22 CS, that's 14, there's still 14 more than Kha'Zix, so jungling nicely, clearing out those waves as much as possible. Fairlife has come back into this bottom lane, just hit level 2, so it's a little bit behind, but there's not really enough mana here on Four-Leaf Clover playing that Thresh to be able to do anything.
Potentially going aggressive onto Hyandi in that top lane, doing a fair bit of damage, but Nasa's tanky enough to tank that up for a bit. Gyarados going low again. Wolfishy, you going actually may go down.
Oh, here comes Vi! Vi from the side. Wannabe picks up that kill. Just a bit too manly there from Wolfishy you.
Yeah, the damage just was not there. The light binding wasn't out there from Xe, and overly aggressive led to his death basically. No.
That it did. I was about to comment on how I expected Wolfishy U to camp out this mid lane a lot now, because they know Ziggs' flash is still down, they know they can do some damage and allow Xe to get an advantage in that lane. Xe 12 CS behind now, and has also just lost that assist, so no longer has the advantage he used to have, and just died! Didn't even see that.
Yeah, Wannabe came in from the side, Gyarados landed a very, very good satchel charge, keep it CC'd, and then with the explosive minefield between Xe and his turret, basically had to walk through the whole diameter of it. Took a bouncing bomb to the face. Well played there.
Bouncing bombs to the face are not happy things at all. Here comes the hook, just missing on Poe in that bottom lane. Not going to be able to get on top of him. And we see Kuma here in the top lane playing that Nasus, getting harassed down a little bit, but his CS really well. On equal CS with his brother playing on that Renekton. So going to be able to keep himself sort of stable in this lane. Has hit level 6, doesn't quite have the mana to use his ultimate yet, but if he does get dived, we know Renekton will fear that ultimate.
Yeah, Fury of the Sands. Very, very nice just to keep him alive. He, of course, won't actually be able to kill trade for Renekton at this point, he just doesn't have the mana for it. So he is just going to do the level-headed thing. Return to his base, has the teleport up, so very little damage will go down to the turret if at all.
That is true. In the mid lane we see Daedork still a way ahead. 34 CS to 15, that's 19 CS the difference. And Ziggs, yes, I said how much he clears, how well he clears and how well he can harass, but after getting that early advantage I expected Xe to be able to utilise it a little bit better. Just nice ganks coming out from Wannabe, keeping his mid laner in this game and now allowing him sort of to take charge of it.
Yeah, Hyandi Kuma comes back into the lane with a completed Glacial Shroud, so that could either go for the Frozen Heart if he really wanted to, or of course has the potential to go for the Iceborne Gauntlet, which I assume is your fan favourite for that pickup, and it's in all honesty mine as well.
It's a bit more fun, in all honesty. Like, I think perhaps a Frozen Heart would be good here. Vi is good with attack speed, as is Renekton to some degree, and against the Vayne you really want something that will slow down the attack speed of all of your opponents. So I expect to see him picking up the Frozen Heart, but the Iceborne Gauntlet, it's just a bit more fun. It allows you to do a little bit more and feel a little bit more like you're involved in the game. But it's a 5v5 game, it's not a 1v5 game, so I expect to see Kuma picking up that Frozen Heart.
Yeah, Poro dealing quite a lot of damage to Kex. He's actually hit level 6 before this Lucian, which is actually fairly impressive considering that neither of the AD carries have gone back and how low that Poro was when he went down. Oh, Wannabe going in onto Wolfishiyu, going incredibly low.
There is
Down
the
he
kill.
goes.
Yeah, Wannabe just timing that blue buff really nicely. J-Dork tried to come across and help out with it, but didn't actually get his bomb off in time, so doesn't get the assist for that one. But really, really good from him. There's going to be a play here in the bot lane. Fairlife is going under that tower, takes up one shot. The Condemn comes out, nice heal as well. They're able to turn that round, and you saw if Poro's never gone back, but he's got such nice sustain coming out from his support. Going to be able to keep himself nice and healthy, and even like fully mannered, which on a Vayne isn't as important as some other AD carries, but allows you to tumble, allows you to condemn. It's always good.
Very true. Tenchi going for the proxy Renekton right here. So, Kuma's going to do the level-headed thing, and that's sit back and farm. It's a Nasus.
Yeah, he is a Nasus. That's kind of what you want to do on Nasus. Like, it doesn't really matter how much your lane opponent farms up. You are going to be able to scale infinitely as opposed to him. And Wannabe here is trying to do a double like buff steal, really. Gets spotted out by that ward. Does manage to take it down, so nicely done by him. Places his own ward at that red buff. Just locking Wolfishiyu out.
You know, he actually had a vision ward in that brush, which Wolfishiyu didn't see as he walked on past.
Well, that is not too good. Kuma is going to go in here on the top lane. The Wither is down onto that Renekton. He uses the Dominus. Here comes Wolfishiyu trying to get something for himself. He's a bit behind at the moment. Can't get that Nasus the Renekton isolated and jumps in, but wasn't able to secure that kill at all. So just trying to get himself back in the game. Hasn't quite managed it yet. Hook's coming down here onto Poro. The box goes down as well. Here's the culling, the ignite, the flash play. It's enough. Are they going to be able to get Surak out of this one as well? Maybe she jumps away. She hasn't got Wish because she's only level 5. And there's a bit more fighting in the top lane. Ignite on Kuma. But he's going to be able to walk away from this one. Here comes Ziggs, the bouncing bomb. Is it enough? No. He hasn't got his ultimate up for another 10 seconds. There it is. Is he going to be able to get onto this one? He's chasing. That passive is going to do a lot of damage. Kuma gets taken out, and Wolfishiyu is going to have to back away. And we talked about Elthazar. That was beautiful play by that team.
Yeah, and that's pretty much a very nice early tower in this top lane. 4 for 2 in the kills. They are starting to push this right back. Bottom lane still going in favour of Bananas and Tuxedos, but it's a 3-lane game, and of course there's still the jungle story there.
It is a 3-lane game, and Vayne getting caught out there, not as good as, not obviously good for the NumerOuno team, but it did mean that they were able to put pressure on other parts of that. Ziggs, nice rotation by him. Poro going very low again. Look at that, down to less than half health already. Fairlife is going to get jumped on as well here. Kex doing quite a bit of damage, but here comes Vi. Has got a sword and battery up. There is a ward in Tribush, so she needs to come through all the lane. Oh, Poro gets taken out. Too manly there, Poro, and the Light Slinger passive from Lucian. Going to be able to take it out. Decides not to go on that Wannabe. Just using those denting blows to clear out this wave as much as she can.
Yep, denting blows plus excessive force clears out minion waves very, very quickly. Kex just has way more damage at this point when combined to Poro. Poro only, of course, has that build water cutlass, but there is the engagement from Wannabe.
And there's the ultimate as well. 4-leaf clover getting taken very low. Wannabe is going to be able to get this. Yes, she does. The hook lands right at the last moment. Gets healed up though. Wannabe is going to be able to get away, and they're going to have to back away. Renekton came down as well, so he sliced and diced across the wall after using Dominus, trying to get himself in there. But Eggsy and Wolfishiyu were wise to it and came across, blocking off his escape. And here's the teleport in by Nasus. They want to go in on this one. J-Talk, Wannabe's low as well. Nice! Satchel charge there. The Fury of the Sands has come out. They're going to go onto Renekton. It's not the target you want. Rotating around towards Dragon, using that percentage health damage to take that one down as quickly as possible. Kex is here. But here's Poro. He's back alive. Lux trying to catch out Renekton. There's this on the battery. Wolfishiyu getting taken very low. He gets caught out. Vayne is still alive. But here is Kuma all by himself. Is he going to be able to tank up this entire team? I don't think so. There's 2 kills for J-Dog. Beautifully done. Managing to pick up Kha'Zix and Lucian. Renekton flashes away, Satchel charge coming in. I'm not sure J-Dog wants to be there anymore. Exy has come around the side as well. They're all going to have to back away. Dragon isn't even going to go down, but beautiful trades here for the NumerOuno team.
Yeah, Vision Ward will get cleared out by 4-leaf clover as he did throw that Dark Passage into the brush. And actually, Gyarados stops him from taking that down. 3 members of the NumerOuno team still in that vicinity. 4-leaf clover does actually come across and take down the Vision Ward finally. And it's all pretty much returned to your places for yet another dance.
definitely going to be a Dragon Dance coming up. Renekton has had this lane pushed against him in top lane, so he's going to be able to go and farm this up, but we have to remember Nasus no longer has teleport, isn't going to be able to get down to that fight as quickly as he did there. Like, I feel he kind of baited his team in a little bit there. Wasn't really, they went in a bit too early. Teleport would have been better after we saw NumerOuno start that dragon. They would have taken a bit of damage. Lux could have positioned herself better. We could have had 4-leaf Clother coming back in with Kex as well. And as that fight progressed, we saw Vayne rejoining it and allowing just extra damage to come out from the NumerOuno team, meaning that they are now 7-3 up and they have about 3,000 gold lead, only 13 minutes of the match. Dominus has been popped in the top lane, as has Fury of the Sands by Kuma, and Kuma able to trade a lot better now with Renekton.
Yep, has that Negatron Cloak as well, and a Ruby Crystal, so he may go for an early Spectre's
Wannabe
Cowl
is
as
not
well.
in a good position here. Sorry, there's the play, knocking out the Voltbecker. Here comes the hook. Wannabe gets pulled back. The minefield has come out, but here's Kex. Kex picking up that kill, and Wannabe wanting to steal away that blue buff, not quite able to do it and getting caught out. Nice play by Wolfish EU and HC to be wise to the threat of the buff.
Yeah, blue buff of course goes across to XC. The second one was stolen away by Wannabe early on, so that's really going to help out with that farming as a Lux. Reduce cooldowns on light binding and loosen singularity, always very, very nice. You eventually see Gyarados heading towards the bottom lane, but there is a ward in that brush, so it has instantly been spotted out. The engagement's trying to go down, but well, the culling quite decisively says, "Get off my face."
That it doesn't. See quite a bit of damage going down to Fairlife. Yes, it's got sustained, but not going to be able to sustain too often, as we all know that healing spell from Soraka does have quite a long cooldown. Isn't going to be able to keep them alive forever. However, Vayne has got Bilgewater Cutlass now. Bit of lifesteal along with that Dawn's Blade, giving some health back per hit, and to be able to keep herself. Sorry, Vayne is obviously a woman. Herself up nice and high on the health as well.
Yep. Meanwhile, we do see Wannabe taking some raids as fairly standard. We could see ganks coming out right now, but it does look like he is far more concerned with farming up and getting his blue buff, of course, over to Gyarados. Doing very, very well for himself, already has the Chalice of Harmony, Double Doran's Ring, Amp Tome, and of course the Blasting one, which is very, very good. Which is basically a blasting one up on what's currently being held by XE. XE also doesn't have boots yet.
Yeah, also doesn't have 4 kills yet, so probably why we see him a little bit behind at the moment. Wolfish EU soloing the dragon, managing to take that one down, and that's going to give a bit of global gold across to all of his teammates. Hook Hook missing, that's what I meant to say, in the bottom lane, so Fairlife doesn't fail at life right now, isn't caught out. C4 Clover has been trying to make the plays in this bottom lane, trying to catch people out, trying to stop them from being able to back away and keep themselves safe and just farm out this lane, because Lucian Thresh is a very aggressive lane as opposed to a Soraka Vayne. Soraka and Vayne just want to keep themselves alive and get to that later game stage, whereas Lucian Thresh really want to be doing some damage, but every time he misses a hook, the box comes down, there's the play, the heal coming out onto Poro. Is it going to be enough exhaust? Lucian might get this one, there's the culling, is it another wish? The barrier, no it's not, and Kex picks up the kill. They're going to go on Fairlife, and there's the Lantern. Dark Passage getting him away. Wow, that was a beautiful fight in the bottom lane.
Yeah, and that's almost a guaranteed turret. That bottom outer turret, it's only on 216 health. Boy is coming around.
AC in the mid lane has got Tiamat. AC, nice light barrier there. Going to be enough. No, flashes away. Dodges, it's not enough. And Daydog tanking that one up. We saw Vi coming into the bot lane. She's going to try and go on Kex. Kex gets now alive, but Wannabe is going to be able to take him down. Kex should not be able to escape this one at all. 4-1 now, 4-2 now. And we see Ziggs and Renekton trying to come up towards this dragon, but that's already gone. Wolfish EU securing that one just a few minutes ago.
Yep. Meanwhile, in the top lane, we see Kuma doing more of what he's been doing the entire game, which is farming up nicely. Got 264 stacks on that Q, so he's definitely stacking up very nicely. That turret is going to melt under the pressure coming from those siphoning strikes. We've got Wolfish EU in the middle lane right now, because AC is backed out, or rather has recently revived. But we do actually see AC picking up Athene's Unholy Grail quite early on.
A bit of extra mana and degeneration, a bit of health as well. It's a good first item to build on a lot of mid laners these days. Chalice is most mid laners who require a lot of mana will go Chalice Stars, and then some people think it's better to go for perhaps a Rabadon straight away, but Chalice of Harmony into Athene's Unholy Grail really gives you a bit of extra magic, because this gives you that extra mana regeneration as well, and helps you out quite a lot in the lane, with a bit of the ability power, of course, coming from the Fiendish Codex side of the build. So it's a good first item most of the time.
It is indeed. Meanwhile, in the top lane we see Candy Kuma backing out. He does currently have 1,000 gold, so we could see a completed item right now. No, he actually decides against it, and decides to wander to pastures slightly safer, potentially.
Got to get to those safe pastures. Probably going to just stack up that Siphoning Strike off these golems in the top lane. He's, as you said, on around 240 odd stack. 280 now, sorry. He was at 260 when you said it. 300 stacks by 20 minutes is good going. He's got 142 CS, building towards the Spectre's Cowler. It looks like they're going to engage him in the bot lane, but they don't know that Wannabe is round the corner, and there's the Assault Factory. Hex gets melted down. Nice Talisman of Ascension. Good rush there by Soraka, gets them on top of him. Hox goes very low. The Ignite is ticking. He's going to try and life steal through it. He can, because no one is on him. No, he can't. Thresh picks up the kill. Here comes Nasus. They're going to try and counter-engage this one, but Ziggs is coming down from the top side of the map. There's the Fury of the Sands. Nasus, you can't 3v1, can you? There's Thresh as well. Wannabe goes very low. There's the barrier out of Zagor. Is it going to be enough play? No, look at this damage. Oh, he tries to get away. Didn't think he was dead. Candy Kuma's going to go down. Death sentence. No, it's not enough. Wannabe is going to chase down Candy Kuma. Lux is coming out from the side at the same time. J-Dog getting taken low. Here comes Wolfish EU. Wannabe has no mana. Here's Thresh as well. Wannabe's going to go down to Wolfish EU. Let's follow this side of the fight. Soraka, oh, the light binding misses. J-Dog trying to get in there. There's the jump in. Oh, the satchel charge knocks him out of the final spot. Here comes Wolfish EU. Will he be able to get on him? He doesn't have any mana. Oh, the heal light at the last moment. There's the exhaust. Feral Light picks up the kill. And what a turnaround there. Wow.
The timing on that Astral Blessing was absolutely exquisite. Feral Life landing that heal at the exact time when Wolfish EU tried to land that isolation Q, and the damage was not there. Exhaust comes straight down, kill picked up now, 13-8 in favour of NumerOuno. It's only a 3,000 gold lead, but that really is deceptive at this stage. There's definitely a major advantage for them right here.
The whole time he was pushing out that top lane, got a tower. It's now 184 CS, coming down to this mid lane. Tiamat building into a Sunfire as well. One tanky Crocodile at the moment, going to be difficult for his brother to deal with him. And we saw, yes, Nasus does a lot of damage, and yes, he was able to melt people down, but it was a 3v2, and Thresh was low as well, didn't have the box, didn't have flash. They're going to engage him in the bot lane. Wannabe, Assault and Battery is back up, they're going on Kex. There is the ultimate, the Mega Inferno Bomb. Look at the damage, they're going to keep going. Falling further, you're not in a good position. Here comes Wolfish, the final spark, is it enough? Wannabe might go down. Falling Fire survives, going to get taken out by Portal Jugs. Here comes J-Dog, is it enough? Portal Jugs barrier. If Wolfie's going to get the kill, he could get the resets. Has he got that yet? Yes, he has. J-Dog gets taken down. Triple kill for Wolfish EU, and Kha'Zix is a mega insect.
Yeah, has that upgraded wings now. Every time he gets a kill or an assist, resets the cooldown on his leap, and of course evolving it as well grants bonus range on that. And he has the damage right now. He has that Spirit of the Elder Living. He has the components for a Last Whisper, so he's dealing a lot of damage. Potentially going for a little bit of a dive towards Aixi, but going to back off, taking very little damage, very, very tanky at this point. Wolfish EU going to back out from the bottom line, and he is going to pick up himself some items. He does indeed go for the Tiamat, and also has the Vampiric Scepter, so like the Renekton, going for that fairly early round as Hydra. Kiani gets caught out the top lane.
Not quite hitting there. Boy, he could go for this one. Fury of the Sands has got out the Ignite as well. It's not going to be enough. He jumps across the wall, and it's not the position you want to be in right there, Kuma. You placed the wall, you put the Spirit Fire down, and should have just waited a second, because the next thing came across, they set themselves up perfectly. Yes, it's going to be a dragon coming out here for the BIT team, but not the trades you want to be doing. That dragon could have been free if Candy Kuma had just waited a couple more seconds.
Definitely. Right now, so transform the kill to 16-2.
Fail getting caught out in the bottom lane. There's the auto blaze, the culling, and the ignite as well. Oh, it's not enough. Nice flash away. Talisman of Ascension going to keep himself alive. Wannabe is here, and J-Dog's coming down as well. There's the bouncing bomb. There's the Mega Inferno Bomb. Kex tries to flash away. Falling Clover, putting the lantern across the side. Wannabe gets the kill there. Falling Clover's going to go for Fail Life, but no, you get condemned. And Poro Jokes is going to pick up that one. 18 and 11 now. Nice rotations here from the NumerOuno team.
Yeah, and that rotation is going to allow them to pick off this bottom turret. Wolfish, you are not tanky enough to defend that. Down goes the turret. He knows it. He's just going to go and pick up his white. He's going to do all that he can to try and defend his inner turret. But once again, he could actually get caught out by Wannabe here.
Yeah, he might get caught out, but the Assault and Battery not available. Still half of its cooldown left. They're going to be able to get some damage down with this tower. Actually, a lot of damage because the second minion wave is there. Final spark coming out, but the tower goes down, and that's second tier turret here for the NumerOuno team. Second inner turret, that's what they're called, inner turret. They're rotating down towards mid lane now and might be able to get this one down as well. Starfall's coming out, Fairlife clearing out that wave as quickly as possible, and it's a 3v5 stack. We've seen Nasus in the top lane, that's another turret. So much global gold here for the NumerOuno team. Now they back away, they realise that the rest of the team is going to be joining up, and Nasus does need to be dealt with because he is split pushing a little bit.
Yep, that still, however, means that they have a 5-for-1 turret advantage right now. 24 minutes into the game, thereabouts. Dragon going to be respawning within the next couple of minutes as well. Of course, you'll see that in the top left of your screen when that 2-minute cooldown starts.
Nasus has gone for that frozen drift, Iceborne Bullets are going to be trying to get these slows, but the Nexus is very tanky. Tiamat and that Sunfire Cape now, wow. He's actually going very low here. He might be trying to bait Kuma into standing a little bit too much under tower, but look at the lifesteal from that Soli's passive. Keeping him sustained up a huge amount. It's going to be difficult for Renekton to deal with this Nasus now. Oh wow, look at the damage. Taneshi going very low. Flash! Siphoning Strike. Kuma picks up that one, and this might spell a turnaround in this game. As soon as Nasus can start 1v1ing whoever you send to deal with him, it really means it's going to be a struggle for your team to deal with that split push anymore. Wannabe is here. He's going to try and get enough damage down. There's no mana for Kuma. There's the Mega Inferno bomb, but is it going to be enough? It is. Down to about 500 HP. There's the Assault and Battery as well, but that's 3 ultimates being used. Wannabe taken down to half health. Yes, they managed to pick up that kill, but because they had to send Wannabe bot lane. Oh, Apollo jokes. Oh, Wolfish EU going in. That was not a smart idea. Wolfish EU gets taken down. The boxes there as well. Apollo jokes has popped the final tower. Is it going to be enough? J-Dog getting caught out a little bit. The bouncing bomb bouncing over Kex's head. And they're going to be able to retreat away from this one. Apollo jokes almost got caught with a death sentence. Didn't quite land it. And I think Wolfish EU thought it had connected. Oh, Flash! There's the bolt breaker from Wannabe. And he picks up the kill with that explosive force, excessive force. So now they're going to be able to rotate around and probably go for this Baron.
Yeah, they're definitely heading for this Baron right now. There is the start. There are no wards currently here for Bernard and Tuxedos because I'm pretty sure they didn't expect so early a pickup. We do see Chianti Kumar come down on that Nasus. He does have Fury of the Sands available. There it is popped.
Yeah, he's going to go in on this one. Oh, Death is running on J-Dog, but he uses the Sash to get across the wall. Wannabe getting taken very low. Chianti Kumar, if he can tank up a couple more seconds, Kazik will be here, but he can't. And a minion has destroyed a blue turret. No, sorry, he gets taken out there by Renekton. Wolfish EU is around, pops that ward down. He might be able to jump on someone here. He's not realising they're still around. J-Dog has stayed, as has Renekton. He jumps in. That was not a smart idea. There comes the wish. Wolfish EU, you are jumping all over the place. Pops his invisibility. He's going to be able to get away. The Mega Inferno bomb coming out as well. Trying to get back in on that one, but those heals from Soraka just keeping J-Dog really nice and healthy.
Yep. It did force them off the Baron though. On the positive side, yes, they've lost Chianti Kumar, who's now 1-5, but does have Iceborne Gauntlet, does have Spirit Visage, still hasn't finished his Mercury's Treads just yet, but also does have a Giant Spell. Compare that across, he's actually doing pretty well despite being down a kill and down a lot of farm. We do see that Tenchi right now only has the Ravenous Hydra and the Sunfire Cape. Yes, he only really has 850 gold on him as well, so very expensive items coming out. But items that expensive, not really going to help him amazing amounts right now because he still hasn't got very much magic resist. Yes, the only real source of magic resist on the BIT side is going to be Xe, but that's still just potential to get bursted down in this situation.
By Fairlife as well, going to give them that Grievous Wound passive, which is what you really want from your support. If they can reduce, it's not obviously you want them to be a good support as well, but if they can reduce the healing coming out from a Nasus and from a Lucian with the Bloodthirster, it's going to really stop this opposing team being able to do as much as they'd like. They won't sustain themselves through fights. They won't be able to lifesteal back as quickly after sort of mini skirmishes have gone down, and it means that Kex and Wolfishiyu and Nasus need to be that just a bit more careful, because they're not going to be able to keep themselves alive as easily as they think they might.
No, they will not. But of course, the condition is with NumerOuno, the target has to be below 40% health. So it does rely upon a lot of burst going down. You can't apply the NumerOuno pass and then engage. You have to engage and then rely upon it to shut down the enemy's opportunity to survive.
Candy Kuma actually coming into the middle of the team here, but look at that, he gets melted away. Fury the Sands not even keeping himself alive. Kex gets jumped on with the assault and battery. Nice light bite, final spark hits 3 people. Wannabe's gone very low. Kex might pick up that one, flashes away, but he gets taken out by Ziggs, and Wolfishiyu is not in a good position, gets condemned against the wall as he jumps across, going to keep himself safe. But this is a tower, there's a 1-4-2 trade, and they might push for the inhibitor here.
Yeah, it's very, very likely. They don't have an amazing amount of wave clear right now. Kex is down, and he's the vast majority of the wave clear. And in fact, Tenchi's just going to tank it up. He is perfectly tanky enough to do it right now. Porojuk's going for maybe a little bit of an attempt onto XC, but he is wise up enough to see that coming. So they're going to head on down and take the dragon.
That they are a nice, easy dragon for them to pick up, and they're just using this objective control. Candy Kuma being a bit too manly, not realising that he's not as tanky as he thinks. Yes, he's got Iceborne Gauntlet, Mercury Test, and that Spirit Massage, but there's a huge amount of damage coming out from the opposing team. Ziggs 7-2, Veins 3-5, and yes, I know that's not positive, so obviously he's not as good as all of you people watching, but still very good to have that Blade of the Ruin King and Static Shiv. And a bit of armor as well, going to keep himself alive a bit more against this Kha'Zix who's trying to jump in and trying to lock him down.
Yeah, right now, slightly interesting to me actually, the pickup of the Static Ship, because most Veins tend to just go for the Vantage Dancer.
That's true, but it gives them that little bit more wave clear. They've got good wave clear already with the Ziggs and with Renekton as well, but just trying to get that little bit of wave clear, a little bit of critical strike damage, and just being able to help out his team push the lanes and allow them to do things like go for this Baron, because they know they've pushed that lane, they're going to start the Baron up, and they might be able to melt this down before Castle is able to respond. He has got Smite up, he has got his invisibility up as well. There's a ward where he is standing, however, and the Baron is already down below half HP. 4,000, 3,000, 2,000 now. Here comes Kha'Zix, final spot, but Wolfishiyu gets melted away, and Wannabe picks up that Smite onto the Baron, managing to secure that for his team, and that is not a good trade here at all for Niners and Tuxedos.
Yeah, there go the pings. They are heading down that middle lane with a purpose. That inhibitor is going to fall if they have anything to say about it.
That it is, especially since they've already got the tower. Cullen comes out, not going to hit anything, or Kumar gets jumped upon. Takes a bit of damage, a solid battery coming in onto Kex. There's the Mega Inferno Bomb. Kumar is in the back line with that Fury of the Sands, but look at that, J-Dog taking out Kex immediately, double kill for him. They're going to put that minefield down and take down this inhibitor. They could keep pushing this one, it's still 4 seconds on Cullen. Natural charge of the falling clover, is it enough? NumerOuno is proc, J-Dog uses that damage to try and get him out. Nice condemned there by Poro Jokes. Picking up that one, they're gonna go for the first Nexus hurt. Wannabe is quite low, Wolfishiyu is there, but look at the damage from Poro Jokes. He tanked up a tower shot, still keeps himself alive. The satchel charge, just trying to keep them away from this Nexus. This could be the first of this best of 3, and it's going to be. They actually jump on Wolfishiyu, take him down. The Nexus is melted away, and NumerOuno pick up the first of this best of 3.
Yeah, very, very well played by NumerOuno. Game finishes 29 kills to 13, 15,000 gold advantage, 61.6 to 46.1, and also a 9 for 2 turret advantage. Of course, it's not over yet. BIT have the chance to pull it back in Game 2.
Of course they do. This is the EGL Summoners Cup number 20. Finals, it's a best of 3, and we see NumerOuno 1-0 up in it. You can follow us on Twitter at EGL or on YouTube /EGL Pro. I am at The Only Sono on Twitter, and my co-car is at Elthazar. Thank you very much for watching. We'll be right back with the second game of this best.